Hi guys, welcome to this episode. Thank you for watching all my videos and subscribing and making this channel into what it is right now, because it is growing, and I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the comments. Today we're going to talk about the Canon 5D. I'm going to go through the Q button and go through all the features within the Q button today. So let's switch the camera on. Okay, so camera switch on is over here. Camera switched on. There's a little toggle thing which I'm going to use up here, which allows me to toggle up and down. It's like a little wheel. You can hear the little click noise. I'm going to be using that to control the camera. Okay, so it's switched on. I'm going to press the Q button, and I'm going to go through all the features via the Q button today. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, at the moment it's in manual mode, which you will see as a big M. So that's manual mode, which means M for manual. Okay, it's not touch screen. So a lot of the new cameras you can touch screen and do it via this the viewfinder and change all the settings, like a bit like on your phone. This camera, it's a bit old school. You have to go to all the settings like this. So there's a little toggle icon here. And all you do is you move it around like this in order to control the various features that's available to you on this camera. So if I go to Aperture, sorry, not Aperture, Shutter, it will tell me it's a shutter. Press the set button, and you can use a toggle to increase and decrease your aperture, or you can use a toggle button up here to increase and decrease your shutter. So your shutter is basically a little shutter that opens and closes in your camera to let more light in and less light in. Very important in photography. The next thing is your f-stops, which is your aperture. So aperture is a little hole that lets in more light or less light depending on the f number, and that basically exposes your sensor to create the picture, a bit like old school film. Okay, so if I click on f-stop, again the little toggle up and down, and that will allow me to increase or decrease my f-stop. So the bigger the number, the smaller the opening, so less light going into the camera, less exposure to your image, and the smaller the number, the bigger the opening, so more light coming in. So that would be in a very low lit environment, you might do that. Your ISO is your sensitivity of light. So I tend to leave this on auto, but a lot of photographers may differ, and they might put it higher or lower depending. So if it's lower, it's going to be in a sunny environment. If it's higher, you will do that in a low lit environment, so like maybe in a dark room, for example. The higher the number, the more grainy your image might get. So it's really important that you control that. That's why I always leave it in auto, let the camera do that, because a lot of these newer cameras are so good at controlling the sensitivity of light that you don't get as much grain within your image these days. Then you've got your exposure compensation. So this is digital exposure, so you can add or decrease. Again, if you click on this wheel, you can move it like this, or you can set and do it this way, and you again use your little dial to increase and decrease it for your image to be brighter or darker. Then you've got your flash exposure, so you can increase or decrease the exposure of your image from the flash. So if it's in a low lit environment, you can increase the exposure or decrease it. So it's always a good idea to increase it in low lit and decrease it in high lit environment. So if it's a very sunny day, you might want to decrease that. Usually it doesn't even pop up, to tell you the truth, on a sunny day. Okay, so select that. The next thing I quite like is this custom control, and these are all the buttons that's within your camera. So for example, that one there, if you can see that one, that's my main wheel, which is that one. If I click on set, I can change it to different things. Okay, so if I want to change the focus point, I can select that one, and that will allow me to control the focus points. I'm going to leave it on AV, but it's a good one. Some people like to change these around because they want their camera to have certain features. Certain buttons to control various things, and it is useful, and you do need to sort of kind of pivot around these and change them to whatever you want to change them to. Okay, you can also delete the settings as well and go back to default in your main menu, which is that one. That's just a standard, tells you what the camera is set as. This is high speed, one shot taking, or high shot, or continuous pause, or slow, or on a timer. So if you do sports photography, you might want to put it high. If you're just taking a single shot, you might want to put it on that. Okay. Then you've got your spot metering. So these two, partial, and these three, I would say, evaluative, partial, and metering will be useful for single object photography. Like, for example, if you're shooting people or objects, those might be good for that. Center weight might be good for like scenic things where you're getting a lot more content in your shot, so you can play around with that as well. Again, you can set it. Then you've got your type of image you're taking, so landscape, portrait. So if you're a landscape photographer, you might want to set it on that. If you're a portrait photographer, you might want to set it on that. Depending on what you're shooting in manual mode. Then you've got your white balance shift, so you can shift the. Basically, I think how this works is the more you shift it towards blue and green, is the more blue and green exposure that your image will attain. Okay. So again, if I come out of that, go back to Q button, go to color temperature. So this is your white balance. So if you're shooting in sunny days, shadowy days, cloudy days, in an office environment, you might want to set that to. If you want to set your flash, and also you've got your custom, or you can go to your Calgon and reduce and change. And again, you use the toggle button up here to increase and decrease your Calgon, which is the sensitivity of light. Okay, you can increase it and decrease it however you feel you want to use the light content with the environment. You might want to take a couple of images of the same environment and play around with these to see which one works best. Okay. What else? So you've got your one shot. So you've got your AI focus, or your one shot, AI, and server mode, which are useful. Okay, and all those settings that I've just shown you, if I put it in film mode, will be the same. So like you can sort of change those, but you can't change it on Q button, because Q button, if you click on the Q button, it will show you your settings here, but you can't change them because it's not touchscreen and it doesn't allow you to change them on this camera. So it only allows you to change them in picture mode, which is that one there. And then if you go to Q button, then you can change those different things around. All right, okay, so hopefully that's been useful. So the demonstration was to click on Q button and go through all the features here. You've got your main menu here, which is all the camera settings. I'll do another video for that. There's a lot of settings for the Canon. It's not touchscreen. Then you've got your info, which tells you all the information of what we've changed. And then you've got, if you click on that again, it will give you a graph so you can control and pivot your image and get it center aligned. You've got HDR. So this button here is, you've got HDR, shoot images with a wide tone of ranges. That's quite useful if you've got if you're taking pictures with lots of high contrast colors, reds, blues, greens. The R button doesn't really do anything, so we're gonna leave that one. This one here, this little magnifying glass, allows you to zoom in and out of images, and this play button here allows you to play your content, and you can sort of hover through like this in order to view your video or your photographs. This little bin, obviously the bin is what it means on the tin, allows you to delete images that you've captured. This viewfinder is very useful. I personally, I'm a bit old school. I do use my viewfinder as opposed to the digital screen, especially nowadays with the new cameras. You can actually film and take photographs by looking at the digital view screen as opposed to the viewfinder. I prefer to use this. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Any questions, please do post, but whether it's negative or positive, I don't mind. Any comments helps me to develop and increase my content. And if you've got any questions, please do post. I'm happy to answer. If I don't, I'm sure somebody else within the feed will post. And please do subscribe and like and share the videos. It always helps for content creators. And hopefully I'll be making some more videos in the near future when I'm less busy with doing stuff in life. And just make videos and post on this channel. My channel is being taken over by kids a little bit. So if you do watch my videos and see anime or Pokemon cards, it is what it is. That's the way it goes. Kids love channels, and they see my channel growing and they want it. They want the channel. And so thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the love. Thank you. Bye bye.